Shalom, shalom to all my brothers and sisters far and near. I just want to say I love y'all. My name is Brother Pakia, more and more from the tribe of Judah, and I love all 12 tribes, and I'm here to edify y'all with the subject called love, using Joseph as a narrative because he was a special person unto the Lord thy God in the Bible, and he was a chosen one. He actually was a special brother out of 12 tribes of the 12 tribes of the brothers. So I just wanted to put this on the line that we should have more love than hate, and we should love our brothers, and that's exactly how we're gonna come into full effect of everything, because we used to hating, we used to looking down upon each other, but it takes us to come with mighty power to start loving. So that's what we need to do. So with that being said, I'm gonna go to Revelations 3 and 6. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit is saying unto the churches. So I'm gonna go to Genesis 37 and 1. Okay. And Jacob dwelt in the land of wherein his father was a stranger in a land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad, which is a young boy, was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zappar and his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his fathers their evil report. Okay, so he kept a good relationship with his father Jacob, and he was just, that guy who loved his father a lot. All right. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. So, Joseph was that special one doing things for his father and making things, making sure that he was all right, and making sure that he, give his father, gifts and things of that nature. Okay, so I'm gonna go to verse 4. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peacefully unto him. Now that's something that we should not do. Just because one kid showing love to their parent, your other kids shouldn't be getting jealous about that. You know what I mean? You should find your own avenues how to get in touch with your parents. Better than feeling hatred like that. You know what I mean? Because I have my own personal issue with some of my own brothers that I don't want to go into. That how they might feel is different than how I might feel. But at the end of the day, love conquers all. So at the end of the day, all right, I'm gonna say that again. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peacefully unto him. 5. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, which is his brothers, and they hated him yet the more. So because he was gifted, God put a gift on him that can visualize things that they couldn't visualize. They looked at him as he was he was trash or something, basically, like, he's trying to stunt, or he's trying to be above us, when actually he wanted everything for all of us. He wanted to, that man had so much love that it didn't make no sense, and only his fathers could see that, though. So, all right, and he said unto them, here, all right, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet even more, which is crazy. So I'm gonna go to Proverbs 10 and 12. All right, hatred stir up stripes. Hatred stir up stripes, but love cover all sins. So hatred will cover up all these stripes. You know what I mean? But once you get that love in you, that's gonna cover up all sins. That's what the Bible say. So you gotta not stir up stripes. And as being in captivity in Egypt, part 2, as we know, we known to cover up stripes. That's why you see so many rap battles. You see so many diss records in hip hop. You see so many, the news. This silly world just bring you down. with stirring up stripes. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of ways to look at stirring up stripes. People stir up stripes more than they do love. You know what I mean? That's why all these people who rich out here have millions of dollars. You think they go into the community and go and buy, let's say, an apartment for somebody in the neighborhood? There's so many entertainers, from sports to hip hop to movie stars to it's a lot of people out here, and I can't see myself. I just can't see myself seeing them helping a lot of people without using tax as a outlet to act like they're doing something. I just can't see it. They were quickly to go to a profit organization talking about, I'm gonna donate this to for and then put it out there, act like they're doing something when they ain't really touching other people. So I'm getting off track a little bit, but that just gets on my nerves a little bit. But if you hatred stir up stripes, but love cover all sins, so you gotta have that love to cover up their sins, So I'm gonna go to Genesis 40. Actually, I'm gonna go to 37 and 18 is what I'm gonna go to. Genesis 37 and 18. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. That's to kill him. Well, now their own brothers wanted to come to and wanted to conspire against him and slay him. What type of hatred is this? What type of hatred is this to the point you want to turn into Cain over your own brother, man? This is ridiculous, man, All right, and they said unto one another, behold, this dreamer coming. Like, okay, my brother's walking up. Okay, this dreamer coming. And 20, come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say some evil beast had devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. So they brother conspired to throw him in a pit and to tell their own pops some evil beast had devoured him. Man, that takes a lot of hate. That takes a lot of hate right there. You know what I mean? For nothing. Oh, for nothing. All right, so I'm going to go to 21. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. Reuben was the only one who stood up and, heard that and wanted to deliver him out of their hands. It took somebody out of the brothers to want to stand up, for what they was trying to do. You know what I mean? So, and Reuben heard it, and he devoured him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. 22, and Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into the pit, in this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands to deliver him to his father again. So, let me read that one more time. And Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands to deliver him to his father again. 23. And it came to pass, when Joseph was coming to his brethren, which is his brothers, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat and his coat and of many colors that was on him. 24. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. Okay? So 25. And they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels, bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is this if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? 27. Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. 28. Then there were passed by Mennonites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit and sold Joseph into the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. sold their own brother to some enemies just to get him out of the picture because his brother loved it. I mean, because his dad was showing more, you know, I ain't gonna say more love. I'm gonna say more humanity to Joseph, and they couldn't handle that, so they had to get their own brother out of the picture. That's just so crazy to me. So I'm gonna go to Genesis 9 and 7. And ye be ye fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly in the earth and multiply therein. So be ye fruitful and multiply. That's love right there. How you gonna multiply? Checking one of your brothers out the game, you know. I said that for this reason right here. All right. I'm gonna go to chapter 42, verse 7. And Joseph saw his brethren and knew them. Now this is time that went past after they done already sold him into Egypt. And Joseph saw his brethren and knew them, but made himself strange unto them and spake roughly unto them. Now let's rewind it. They wanted to get their brother out of the picture, but God was with Joseph the whole entire time. And God made Joseph a very important man in Egypt, and they needed some food, so they had to go to their own brother that they didn't even know that was in power to eat. So let's go to that. And Joseph said his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself stranger to them, and spoke roughly unto them, and he said unto them, whence come ye? And they said, from the land of Canaan to buy food. Not even knowing they're talking to their own brother. 8. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew him not. Okay? So, all right. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. Okay? And verse 10. And they saw, and they said unto him, nay, my lord, but to buy food, or thy servants come. Okay? All right. And we are all one man's sons. That's what the brothers was telling Joseph. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. Yeah, they might not have been no spies, but they sure was up to no good in the past time. All right. So let's go to 25. See, verse 42 and 25. Then Joseph commanded to fill. See how no matter what they brothers did to Joseph, he still showed love to him. That's this point about love. I'm trying to show you how the brothers infiltrated on their own brother, but Joseph didn't even take that to heart and got mad at him and wanted no revenge, man. He still loved his brothers regardless. That takes a special brother to be betrayed and still have love for them. You know, that's what you gotta have. You gotta have that in this world, man, to be special. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus he did unto them. Okay. And he said, verse 28, and he said unto his brethren, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying unto one another, what is this that God had done unto us? They brothers Joseph blessed them so much, they came to buy food. He gave them free food and gave them their money back. They were so scared they didn't know what was going on. They thought, that they thought that they didn't even pay the man. They was that spooked of what he might do to them. But at the same time, he knew what he was doing the whole time. He gave them their money back and gave them free food. What type of brother would do this? What type of brother would see 11 other brothers, or I could say 10 other brothers, sold me into something I ain't want to go into, and when I run across them again, I'm going to bless them. Act like it never happened. That's a special brother, man. That's how we got to get out here, man. You know what I mean? Like what I'm trying to say is, man, we done did a lot of our own people wrong. You know what I mean? And we got to come to the realization to don't have that type of vengeance again. You know, grow up and start loving people, man. You know, back again. You know what I mean? So that's what we got to get into, and we can save the nation by doing that. All right. So I'm going to go to Genesis 43 and 11. And their father Israel said unto them, if it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds. Now this is what his dad did, because his dad is Jacob, had love. He was going up there, he sent his son up there to buy food in the first place. They didn't have a night. They didn't have a lot. It's what this verse is saying. But the little he had in his house, he was going to get that to the Egyptians, so-called Egyptians, but it was his son the whole time in rulership. But he was going to give the Egyptian the little he had in his house as a present. That's love, man. You know what I mean? That is love. So I'm going to read that again. And their father Israel sold unto them, if it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm, and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds. Okay, 12, 43 and 12, and take double money in your hand. He told his sons, take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Pre-adventure means perhaps. So perhaps it was an oversight, which means perhaps it was a slip up. Is basically what Joseph telling the sons. Okay, so let's go to 24. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their they dunk his provender. You know what I mean? Now that's love again. Came into his house. Joseph brought the men into he brought his own brothers into his house. He knew what he was doing with his own brothers anyway. He said, welcome them in. Welcome into the house, okay? All right. Now let's go to 26. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. Okay? All right, and he asked 27, and he asked them of their welfare, and said, is your father well? The old man of whom ye spake, is he yet alive? Now the reason Joseph was asking this because he wanted to know how his dad doing. He was away from his dad all this time because his own brother sold him into Egypt. He wanted to know how his dad doing. He didn't come out and say, is my dad all right? You know what I mean? This is what this verse is replying. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, is your father well? The old man of whom ye spake, is he yet alive? All right. And they answered, the servant of father is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. Okay. Verse 29. And he lifted up his eyes and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son. And he said, is this your younger brother? When he knew it the whole time, of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. Okay. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brothers. And he sought where to weep, start crying. And he entered into his chamber and wept there. I'll be crying too, man. I'll be crying too, man. You know, my brothers did me like this. I ain't seen them forever. And when I finally see them, I'm acting, they don't even recognize it's really me, really. But when I see my little brother out of all this time, man, I'll be crying too, man. I'll be crying because I was took away from my brother, man. I mean, this is really deep, man. And this is really deep. All right, so I'm going to go to chapter 44, verse 1. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack mouth. This is the second time. The second time Joseph ain't want their money. He ain't want their nothing. He blessed them with food. Again. Makes no mistake about it. That's love, man. He said, and he commanded the steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sack. Man, look, an Israelite is in control in Egypt. Got the Egyptians telling the Egyptians what to do. Now, if that ain't God in control and watching over him, I don't know what is. He's giving order to the Egyptians to fill his own Israelite brother's sacks up. Think about that. There's a lot of YouTube videos I see, with my brothers, and I love all my brothers. Peace for all my brothers. When it comes to the ultimate of love, this is what we need to be talking about. You know what I mean? And he commanded his steward of his house, saying, fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. Okay? All right. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph has spoken. So, once again, he gave his little brother his own personal cup, his silver cup. He said, put in the sack's mouth of the youngest. The youngest is his youngest brother. You know what I mean? That's what he was talking about, Benjamin. Put in the sack of the youngest his corn money, and he did according to the word that Joseph has spoken. All right, so I'm gonna go to 45 and 1, chapter 45 and 1, because this is very interesting and real. This is super real, and this is how we should be conducting ourselves. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried. He couldn't. He was putting this facade so much in front of his other brothers. There's only a amount of time that a man can hide how he really feel. And at that time, he had to let it out, man. He had to cry, man. And I understand this. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, cause every man to go out from me. He told every man, move around from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. So he made all the Egyptians leave and to make himself known to his brethren. And he wept aloud. He cried loud, man, because this was years of leaving my whole family. I've been gone for a long time. I was gone for a long time, man. I ain't seen what's been going on. I ain't seen, a lot of stuff been going on. My mom and everything, I'm gone. All right. And he wept aloud. And the Egyptians in the house of Pharaoh heard. The Egyptians in the house heard. All right. So, and Joseph said, all right. And Joseph, verse 3, and Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. So he finally revealed himself. All right. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Do my father yet live? He asked again. He want to make sure, is my father still living? They were spooked at that time. And his brothers and his brethren could not answer him. I just said it. They were spooked. They didn't know how. After they know what they did, all these years later, then he told them. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Do my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. If you wouldn't be troubled at your own brother's presence if you ain't did nothing wrong. I just read the verse. Hate your stir up stripes, love cover all sins. You wouldn't have to stir up these stripes. It'd have been all good. Man. And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Man. Verse 5. Wait, I'm going to say that one more time. Verse 4. And Joseph said unto his brethren, come near to me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. 5. Now therefore be not grieved. He telling them, don't even worry about it, man. Don't stress out about it. You know what I'm saying? That's let the past be the past. Now that's love. Let the past be the past. He said, now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life. So, you did what you did, but it was meant for a good reason anyway. That's what he's saying. And what God did anyway, because God is in control of everything. So now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourself, that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life. All right. So I'm gonna go to verse 7. And God sent me before you to say, preserve you a posture in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. Because if Joseph would have never been there, they probably would have starved to death. If Joseph probably wasn't there, they would have had nobody to run to. If they would have ran to, they would have had nobody to run to anyway, because God, the one who made Joseph sacrificial to the land of Egypt to have all this type of food at that point in time like that. You know what I mean? That's why this verse said, and God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. And that's exactly what he did. Man, hallelujah. That's exactly what he did. And verse 14, and he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept and cried. And Benjamin wept upon his neck, because they ain't seen each other in so long. And moreover, he kissed all his brethren, and wept upon them. And after this, his brethren talked with him. Okay, so it was back to what you call it out here, a family reunion, basically. Once again with his brothers. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren and wept upon them. And after that, his brethren talked with him. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to John 14:15. Man, this is real when it comes down to love, man. You can't be doing people any kind of way you want. You can't be burning bridges. I know we are human and we get off track a little bit, but if we hang in there, everything will be all right. Nobody's perfect, but you ain't gotta be evil and just evil just in general, man. Just to wake up like that and just to be like that. You know what I mean? So John 14:15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. This is what the Messiah is saying. Jesus Christ. If ye love me, keep my commandments. So they should have been listening to their dad the whole time. They should have been listening to their dad the whole time. Jacob. Israel. All right. So let me go to I'm gonna go to Exodus 14. I'm gonna go to Exodus chapter 14 and 19. All right. And Moses took. Now this is Moses now, because Moses came into the picture later, but he's still a tribe of she's still a tribe of Levi, which is still the Israelites. And because Joseph was such a stand-up man, and listen to this verse. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him. They didn't leave his bones in Egypt. They didn't leave his bones in Egypt, man. Man. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. Man. Oh, man. That is the ultimate of love, man. That's just one dynamic of what I wanted to preach today, put out my sermon today about love. And that's on a small level, just using Joseph as a narrative to the ultimate love he had for his brothers and Israel's, the 12 tribes, So I really wanted to put that out there as far as like the love, man. No matter what the brothers did, to sell him into the slavery, his brother overcame that and forgave them. Their brother was so spooked that they thought that he was going to make them servants in Egypt. He could have did it if he was a grimy brother, you know what I mean? But he wasn't. He wasn't. He didn't. He actually showed them love, fed their whole houses, gave them the best land, and that's how they ended up in Egypt. That's how we ended up in Egypt, should I say? In general, because of Joseph. That's how we ended up in Egypt. And then another king of Pharaoh came who didn't know Joseph. That's the only reason they got mad at us being out there, so long like that. And they didn't know Joseph. So this Pharaoh wanted to slave us, use us, because we was mighty. We was getting mighty strong out there in the land. They feared that we was going to overtake them by us being out there like that. We was doing better things than them. We was a different people than the Egyptians. So they kind of got a little jealous, and then they wanted to bring rigor toward us. They didn't hearken to us. They wanted to bring rigor to us, and bring hardship to us. And but God was always with us. He's still with us. He's always going to be with us. And we're in Egypt part 2, and we got to love each other like Joseph loved, his brothers. I say that to say this, shalom to all my brothers, and we need to wake up, start loving. Stop making all these videos, talking about what's the name of that word? Expose your own brothers, man. Come on, man. Every brother don't know what you know. We all got our own talents in different ways, you know what I mean? So I might not do what the next brother do. I might not even use my vocabulary well like the next brother. But you know what, though? I'm still a servant of the Most High. I still love him, and I'm still going to do what he want me to do. And I know he's watching over me. You know what I mean? With that being said, I love y'all. Peace. I love my brothers. I love all y'all. I love the 12 tribes. I love my own brothers. I love everybody. You know what I mean? But, I don't love the people who are against us, though. Even I might love them, too, because God got a bigger plan for them, too. So, but at the end of the day, I love my 12 tribes, and we're gonna make it up out of this. We're getting closer, to the time of a righteous kingdom. So that's what Joseph did. He made it a righteous kingdom. That's what Christ did, made it a righteous kingdom. I'm on their own levels, you know what I mean? And that's what Moses came back and did and freed us to a righteous kingdom. We always get these righteous things and then we turn around and do something different. But this time, we better wake up and stick to the strip, because it ain't going to be no turning back to foolishness, man. We got to get our spirits together. All right? So I love y'all. Peace.